Good morning. Pretty. So you have to excuse me. I'm gonna do that every single video now. I'm pretty sure, because I like it. Anywho, so another walk to the gym and another video of mine. And today I thought I was going to talk to you about JavaScript, and this more specifically the way that I think the things are heading with the JavaScript syntax. Doesn't that sound exciting? Now that I have you hooked, let's talk a little bit about something I've touched on in the past. And the thing I wanted to say is that I still feel that I was reading up on this new addition to the JavaScript language, and a few of the concepts they were walking through that are in stage. And for those of you who don't know that, the way that new language features come into the language specification is through a so-called staging process, where you submit a request or a suggestion for a new language feature, and it walks through a evaluation process, if you will. And so until finally everything is adopted by like the major browser vendors and all that good stuff. However, I was looking at a video that was talking about in specifically this time cancellation tokens. And you know, cancellation tokens, if you don't know, like, you don't have if you're a JavaScript person and you don't know what that is, that's fine. I mean, this is like it's still experimental technology. But it got me thinking about something I touched on in the past, and since I love repetition, I'll rant about it a little bit again. I still feel that generators, await async patterns, cancellation tokens, all that good stuff. I mean, this is great. Observables, all of these things, I think they're great. I think it's great that we have such an active community and that the language is evolving and maturing and so forth. But I also think it's a little bit sad and dangerous at the same time that this is the route we're all taking with JavaScript. And I'm going to be honest and say that I think that JavaScript really only has two things left in order to accomplish before it is, in my opinion, the only programming language worth using. Almost, not for every single thing, but it's the closest thing that we have to a universal programming language today. And the reason, I don't care if you don't like the language as it is today, because we have all these great people who will tell me that, oh, it's a horrible language, and they complain about it, because trust me, I have so many people talking to me that are complaining about bad things about JavaScript and so forth, and I keep telling them, you have probably not spent that much time in JavaScript land in recent years if you're still complaining about it. Or maybe you have a really specific use case, like something really, really specific that makes it a horrible experience to you. Because from my perspective, the only two things that are still missing is actually very simple stuff, which is kind of why I'm doing my little rant here. Mathematics, I know it's so sexy, isn't it? But there is a fundamental need in every programming language to have high precision mathematics in order for you to do money calculations, machine learning, all of that good stuff. And not just that, you need to be able to do math in an accurate way. JavaScript does not allow you to do that. So if you're telling me, I remember when I started out working as a programmer, and we did a salary management system at my first job, and it was such a bad idea to do that in JavaScript. God damn, how many times did I sit there and try to figure out how to solve these rounding issues and all that awful, god-awful stuff. Anywho, that is something that fundamentally is lacking in JavaScript, and that to me it's just insanity that something like generators or way to sync, which are very nice things to have. Don't get me wrong, I am very happy that they add this to the language. But I cannot, for the life of me, I can't figure out why that is more important than making sure that we have correct mathematics in JavaScript. I mean, let's take a look at machine learning. Machine learning is now coming around the bend. It is the next, trust me, it's gonna be the next major trend in software development. Not in programming, but in software development. Trust me, the next generation of applications are going to be mostly based around machine learning. It is coming, and it is coming really strong. This is really, really major stuff. It's going to most likely change the way that we write applications overall, I'm pretty sure. So if that is the case, if we assume that that's the case, then frankly, JavaScript can't get on the bus with everybody else or get on the train. You can't you can't do it. Or you can do it, but it's a really bad idea, because if you want to do machine learning, you need high precision mathematics. It's that simple. Otherwise your estimations and projections are going to be off by that much. So this is just one argument for solving this problem. And I maybe I am overhyping this, but to me it makes it's such a weird thing. I can't for the life of me understand why it's such a difficult thing to just put on the roadmap. It should be the first thing, because if you solve math in JavaScript, then you could argue that the language is perfect as it is, because a language can always be nicer. I personally argue that the other thing that is needed for JavaScript to be the only really the only reasonable language to use for almost everything is typing as well. Now you'll tell me, oh, there's TypeScript and Flow and blah 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 and CoffeeScript, and I go, yeah, there are these solutions, but they are not part of the standard. They are not universal, and they are subject to removal, basically. I like my types. I'm sorry, I really do. Strong typing is something like strict typing or static typing, whatever you want to call it, is something that I think is very important. And trust me, if you've ever tried to change the interface or the API for like a fairly central piece of code in a JavaScript code base, you will know the horror, because nobody has unit tests, right? But you will know what a horrible and scary experience that is, because you basically don't know if you broke everything. That is quite literally the case. I was refactoring some code in Scala just yesterday, and I have to say that it was an absolute delight. It was joyful. I was all like, I could have fallen to my knees and cried from happiness, because I had strict types, which meant that I could with confidence change the API, and then I could simply I was told all the places where I might have caused an issue, and I could just go and fix it. So to me, that is a very important thing. But it's not critical thing in the sense, there are still loosely typed languages that are doing fairly well. That's my personal opinion. That is, to me, the most important thing about JavaScript. And frankly, the danger I see with this trend is that we're focusing on all this other syntax, like nice to have syntax, and the specification for JavaScript is growing without, in my opinion, adding much in terms of power to the language. Because generators although they are nice, they don't give you that much more power. A way to sync is nice to have, but it doesn't do anything that promises can't do. Maybe it's giving you a little bit of reading comprehension, and that is good, but not, in my opinion, in comparison to having accurate mathematics. And trust, I'm not even a math person. I don't like math, I hate it, but I understand the value of having it in the language. So if we want to keep JavaScript as this powerful language, but you have to ask yourself, when can I use it, and when should I avoid it? If you want to keep it that way, then yeah, let's just keep on trucking as we are. But if you want what I want, because I want the next generation of programmers, because I didn't have that. And those of you who've been doing this longer than I mean, remember how it was when you started out. You didn't really know which language to pick. We have an opportunity here to provide the next generation of programmers with a single straight answer: JavaScript. You should learn JavaScript. Should be your first language. Be an expert in that, because it's going to give you everything that you need. And as I said, we're pretty close. We just need to get our priorities straight.